Alright, you guys, Barcelona beat Real Madrid 3-2 in the Spanish Supercopa finals to retain the Supercopa trophy, and this comes on the back of another Raphinha masterclass. But in addition to that, it also means that Hansi Flick remains undefeated in the final. And in case you're not aware, we need to talk about it. But first, if this is your first time seeing my videos, hi guys, I am JustMax, and on this channel I talk about football, La Liga, the Prem, UCL, and of course it's always going to be Vizca Barca for me. Can you tell by this huge grin on my face? OMG, I am so excited. If this is something that you are interested in, please stick around, be my friend, be my homie. I would love to have you as we grow this thing together, but we've done it. The first trophy in the bag is secured. Barcelona have retained the Supercopa trophy, and it all came down to sensational football. I mean, honestly, it was the battle of the Brazilians. Raphinha was turning up for Barcelona. Vinicius Jr. chose today to put on one of his best performances in a long time for Real Madrid. But it is Raphinha who called game. Listen! In what is like just a wonderful strike. But before I get ahead of myself, let us look at the lineup that Hansi Flick put together for this game. And let me tell you, when I saw it, what we put together, I was not bothered for Barcelona. I felt like it was a strong enough lineup. It was Joan Garcia in goal, who is come to be Barcelona's main man. He was very good today. He made a lot of saves, and I live for him. Koundé in right back, and boy was he having a hard time today against Vinicius Jr., who kept on turning him every which way but loose. Pau Kubasi, I thought he had a strong performance in the center back today. He paired up with Eric Garcia, and for much of that game they had that shit on lock. It was Alejandro Balde in the left back position for Barcelona. I did not really feel him today in this game. He didn't do a great thing, and he didn't do a bad thing either, in my opinion. Frankie de Jong, though, he had a good game until he ended up getting that red card for that cynical foul on Kylian Mbappe. So if there's ever something I was going to say negatively about that, is that he put the team under undue pressure towards the end of the game. Pedri, another masterclass from Pedri, controlling that midfield when we needed to slow the game down and take a breath, and when we needed to push up, Pedri just had the whole 22 players on the pitch, like he was controlling everything, and I live for it. Lamine Yamal returned back to the starting lineup for Barcelona. If you remember, in the last game he came off the bench, and this game he was chef's kiss. Everything he was doing, he was turning Carreras every which way but loose. Listen to me, he had a fabulous game. Femi Lopez started in the 10th position for Barcelona today. Other than that first assist, I want to say to Raphinha, I did not really feel his impact as much, but it's okay. He didn't do a great job, but he didn't do a bad job either. He was just kind of there. Raphinha, oh my God, my Ballon d'Or. We have started another Ballon d'Or campaign. This man is on fire. This man has been scoring goals for fun. Ever since Raphinha came back from injury, Barcelona is a different team. They're just unbeatable. Like, they really are just unbeatable. I know our defense will do what they need to do by leaking in goals, but with Raphinha in that team, there is just that mentality that no matter what, we are going to win. And that was the level he brought today. Oh my God, I live for him. The first goal, sensational. The second one was one that we really needed, and he found the technique to get it done. Robert Lewandowski, he had a good goal, and I love that his goal too was just immediately after Vinicius Jr. had scored, and then he chipped Thibaut Courtois in a very wonderful skill to put Barcelona ahead. I live for him, but of course he ended up coming up because this was a game that required pace and strength. He does not have that, at least not at 38 years of age. But ultimately, I thought the first half from Barcelona was a masterclass. It did start out slow, You know, it's something that Barcelona had to take their time to figure out how they wanted to play. Something that it took time for us to understand how Real Madrid wanted to set up. And the way they wanted to set up today was they wanted to defend. And one thing I love about the first 30 minutes of the game for Barcelona was we controlled everything. Real Madrid couldn't get on the ball, which meant that they were a little bit more aggressive. They were getting frustrated because every time we did lose the ball, they couldn't string two passes together. I think there was a point where Barcelona had over 200 passes done and Real Madrid only had 22 passes. That was how deep they were in the first half. Like, they were just suffocated. It was abject suffocation press. To their credit though, I felt like Real Madrid, they did a good job in handling that press to some degree. I kept on saying, and on my TikTok, which by the way, if you're not following me on TikTok, you should. It's at the JustMax show. I said, you know, for all the possession that we have had, we needed to do a bit more to test Thibaut Courtois. I wanted to see a bit more productivity in that first half from Barcelona, and it was Raphinha who would end up doing just that. It was a vanilla pass from Lamine Yamal to Raphinha. I was scandalous that he missed it. He should have hit the target. Barcelona should have gone into the break. I thought like 3-0 up or something. One thing I love about Raphinha, and if you've watched any of my video, you know that this channel is a Raphinha safe space, is his tenacity, is his work rate. He misses a chance on the 34th minute, but then on the 36th minute, he is scoring a chance for Barcelona. He makes up for it in sensational fashion. Like, he puts it between the defender's legs. I think it's a pass from Fermin Lopez, and it goes just way past Thibaut Courtois. Barcelona break the deadlock. We're 1-0, and at this point, I did expect us to start flying. We were still controlling the game. Real Madrid were just really depending more on individual brilliance and of course the ball over the top for counter-attacking, which was not really coming until it did end up come for Vinicius Jr., which, for everything I don't like about Real Madrid, I have to, you know, take the time to give Vinicius Jr. his flowers here. He did have a good game for Real Madrid. He put together some wonderful performance today. He was certainly taking Koundé to tax. I'm not even going to lie to you. Like, I felt bad for Koundé. I was like, is Koundé playing against us? What is going on? What is going on? You know, at some point it became apparent that Koundé needed support in dealing with Vinicius Jr. And of the 47th minute, it was Vinicius Jr. who took on the entire Barcelona defense. Like, how he was able to score that goal, I would never know, because it was just like he had bodies all around him, but he was still able to make the angle to beat Joan Garcia. And honestly, I need people to understand how difficult that is, because Joan Garcia is a really, really good goalkeeper. So for him to be beat is very, very good from a Real Madrid perspective. So congratulations to Vinicius Jr. At that point, you knew that it was a battle of the best Brazilian wingers. Vinicius Jr. was certainly turning up for Real Madrid, and Raphinha was doing the same on the other side. But I am so glad that it's my boy who came out on top. Not up to 2 minutes after that goal from Vinicius Jr., it is Pedri and Lewandowski who was going to be able to combine for Barcelona's second. And one of the things I love about that is it was just a line-breaking pass from Pedri from the midfielder to find Lewandowski, who is through on goal to Thibaut Courtois, who chips him audaciously. I mean, he did end up hitting the inside corner of the post to just like seal it, and I was so excited. I thought that Barcelona was going to go into the halftime with a 2-1 lead, and I thought certainly that was a good point for us to end the match, because again, at this point the ref had shown 3 minutes on the board for extra time. Lewandowski had scored on the 4th minute of additional time, so Vinicius Jr. scored on the 2nd minute of additional time. So if you take into account the time that Vinicius Jr. used to celebrate, I thought the extra 1 minute that they added and for which Lewandowski had scored was enough. Maybe we should be going into the halftime break by now. So to my surprise, I was kind of surprised that the game kept on going for no apparent reason at all. Until then, we had a moment where Real Madrid was pressing Barcelona. It was such a chaotic ending to the first half. They did end up getting a goal. Pau Kubasi concedes a corner to Real Madrid. It comes in with a very, very good delivery. Raphinha does enough to prevent the Bishop header from Dean Housey from going into the top corner. What he does is that he just jumps so high and heads the ball into the bar. It comes back to Gonzalo Garcia, who is on the floor, and somehow finds a way to direct the ball way past Joan Garcia. It's 2-2, and at this point I'm upset because, like I said, the game should have ended in immediately Robert Lewandowski scored. It should have ended then and then. We go into the first half 2-2. Coming out, Real Madrid, they were just going back to the things that we know them for, which is like disruption kind of football. They wanted to rattle Barcelona a little bit in that second half to prevent them from playing their free-flowing football that was characteristic of some of what we saw in the first half. And we did end up seeing Fermin Lopez go up for Barcelona, and then we ended up seeing Dani Olmo and Ferran Torres introduced. Robert Lewandowski was out, and I felt like the dynamics for Barcelona changed a little bit. Thought that Hansi Flick, he just got everything right in this game. Like, his substitution was spot on. When Dani Olmo came in for Fermin Lopez and Ferran Torres came in for Lewandowski, we had a bit more energy. Our press became even more intense. It was really, really good. I felt like it kind of counteracted everything that Real Madrid were trying to do in that second half, including how they were able to disrupt Barcelona's rhythm. Again, because Dani Olmo is someone that likes to play in tight spaces, so he was able to exploit that to the fullness of his abilities, and I live for it. And it was only a matter of time before Raphinha gave Barcelona the lead, and honestly this time I was like, I hope the defense holds. What happens is that a ball comes to Raphinha at the edge of the box, and he is slipping. It does take a bit of a deflection, but one of the things I love about my Ballon d'Or, listen, I'm telling you guys now, we are on for another Ballon d'Or season. He strikes it way past Thibaut Courtois, who has dived the wrong way. Barcelona take the lead on the 73rd minute. He has his brace, and one thing I'm gonna say, Raphinha is kind of diabolical in my opinion, because it's one thing for you to have your favorite team to score. It's another thing for that favorite team to be Real Madrid, because he had a brace, I want to say, in the last Supercopa. He scored against Real Madrid in the Santiago Bernabeu last season. He scored against them every single time we met them last season, and now he scored against them now. Now, if you remember that Real Madrid beat Barcelona in the earliest Clásico for the season, Raphinha didn't play that one. So coming back to reestablish himself as their number one tormentor is kind of hilarious for me. And honestly, I live for it. I love it. I just do. Barcelona continue to press. We did see the introduction of Mbappe. If you would know, one of the things we've heard at least since December was, would Mbappe be able to play? That he was ruled out for an injury, and somehow he ended up flying out on Friday to be with the team. And today he did end up coming up, but I didn't think he had any impact at all. He came on. It was nothing. Barcelona they learned from their mistakes in the first half, in that whereas it was frantic after they went ahead, they ended up being pegged back by Real Madrid. This time they learned to hold the ball a little bit more. They learned to slow it down. Pedro was slowing it down and accelerating, and certainly Barcelona could have scored 4, 5 if they were clinical enough, because they certainly did have chances in this game. When Raphinha left and Marcus Rashford came on for Barcelona, I thought that Marcus Rashford could have scored if he was a little bit clinical. There was times when he was, taking the Real Madrid players for pace and, taking them to the byline, and he certainly could have done his thing. And even towards the end there, he was one-on-one with the keeper, with a couple Real Madrid players beside him. He should have hit the target there, but he did not. He kind of put it wide, but still, I'm saying if Barcelona had a little bit more clinicality there, they could have scored. They looked more likely to win the game. Unfortunately, though, it was not all rosy for Barcelona. Frenkie de Jong did end up picking up a red card, which meant that this was a very frantic finish for Barcelona. We did end up seeing Real Madrid coming up with the pressure. One of the things I love about everything that we've gone through as a fan base and including as a team this season is that we have learned from our mistakes. So Barcelona, towards the end, when Frenkie de Jong got that red card, Hansi Flick made substitution to bring in Ronald Araujo and Gerard Martin as well. We're more so not looking for attacking mindset players. We're more so looking to hold and basically see out the win, which is exactly what we did. I live for it. I was so happy with everything I saw from Barcelona today. Was it our absolute best performance? Well, in certain parts it was, but I am glad that we have now had our first trophy in the bag, and that's on period. And guess who was the man of the match? Oh yes, you guessed it. Oh yes, Raphinha. And listen, we are on another Ballon d'Or season. I hope you guys get the voting right this time. Raphinha was the best player last season. He is the best player in the world this season, and he has just delivered Barcelona their first trophy of the season. Additionally, this just means that Hansi Flick is yet to lose a final. He doesn't lose a final. He's undefeated. This is 4 finals for Barcelona, 4 trophies delivered. He won a sextuple with Bayern Munich, and he's won a quadruple here so far. So like, it's just that kind of excellence. And I just want to say congratulations to the gaffer. What does this mean for Xabi Alonso? I don't know. We will have to wait and see. But that has been it for me. I am so happy. Congratulations to all of us coolers, because this is the first of many that's gonna come this season, and that's on what? Period. Let me know what you thought about this game in the comment section, and until next time, I will see you guys later. Bye.